Welcome, everyone. This is a short presentation on differentiated instruction for gifted and advanced learners. Here's what I hope to accomplish for you with this presentation. We will review the basics of differentiated instruction and provide reasons for its use with gifted and advanced learners. We will determine what constitutes a respectful task for a gifted and advanced learner, and we will examine some differentiation strategies that are effective for gifted and advanced learners. So, let's get started. This statement by Carol Ann Tomlinson is as true for the gifted and advanced learner as it is for any other type of learner. Too often, these are the learners we neglect in our classrooms because they're not going to hurt our scores. We feel the need to focus our efforts on those students who are struggling with content and skills. A very common misconception is that gifted or advanced students will survive with or without our help. Pause the presentation now and take a few moments to reflect on these three questions. Where on this continuum would you place yourself in terms of your overall knowledge of differentiated instruction? A 1 on the continuum means almost no knowledge, and 10 means you would be very comfortable instructing someone else to use differentiated instruction. Question number 2. Where on the continuum would you place yourself in terms of differentiating for gifted and advanced learners? And question number 3. Why do you place yourself where you do? Shown here is a great graphic that summarizes the key concepts behind the process of differentiation. In order for differentiation to be effective, it requires respectful task, quality curriculum, rigor, flexible grouping, ongoing assessment, and a sense of community and trust. The instructional strategies involved in differentiation include adaptations in content, process, product, affect, and learning environment, using student readiness, interest, and learning profile as a guide. We fail many times when attempting to differentiate by not creating respectful task for all learners. Let's take a look at what it means to create a respectful task for a gifted and advanced student. On the next slide, and as an accompanying handout you can download from the course site, you will be presented with 2 different task-related scenarios. It will be your job to reflect on these scenarios and determine if you think they are respectful tasks. Here are the 2 scenarios: Mrs. Coggins and her math assignment, and Mr. Ruffin and his psychology assignment. Pause the presentation now to answer the following questions. Are these respectful tasks for gifted and advanced learners? And if so, what makes them respectful? If you determine that Mr. Ruffin was differentiating in a respectful manner by providing alternative reading content for advanced learners, then you are correct. He provided alternative content to meet the needs of his advanced readers. Mrs. Coggins, on the other hand, was not providing respectful assignments for her advanced learners. She was falling into the path that undermines the efforts of many teachers in differentiating for gifted and advanced learners. She was providing more of the same for these learners rather than providing an in place of assignment. Respectful task assignment is crucial for gifted and advanced learners. It's extremely important to keep their motivational state at a high level. More of the same decreases motivation. Enriching activities that require strategic or extended thinking increases motivation in these students, as it would with any student. How many of you are familiar with bored berries and troublemaker Toms? How many of you have difficulty justifying these students as gifted students? What you need to remember is that in their areas of academic strength, we know that students who are gifted consistently finish tasks quickly. They finish reading first. They appear bored. They bring in outside reading material. They create their own games, puzzles, or diversions. They consistently daydream. They consistently perform well in one or more academic areas. They have test scores that are consistently excellent. They ask questions that indicate advanced familiarity with material. And they're sought out by other students for assistance. Proper differentiation strategies can keep bored Barrys and troublemaker Toms motivated and out of trouble. Just in case you might need this information for yourself or in training others, here is some of the research to support the need for differentiated curriculum and instruction for gifted learners. It is also important to remember that gifted students should be making 1.5 years of growth in their academic strength areas for every year they are in school. The next few slides list effective strategies for use with gifted and advanced learners. More information about many of these strategies can be found within the course as supplemental resources, so I will not provide further explanation here. The strategies on this slide adapt content. And here are some strategies for process differentiation. It is the level of independence and challenge that's crucial when you differentiate using varied processes. And here are some examples for the easiest option for differentiation, product adaptations. Flexible grouping. It is important for gifted learners to interact with their intellectual peers. That is the most proven way to meet their social and emotional needs. Research indicates there are no ill effects from working with intellectual peers, but that cannot be said for working in heterogeneous groups. There are ill effects when the groups in which gifted students are placed do not stimulate their thinking and allow for supportive risk-taking. If a gifted student is working with their intellectual peers, they do not need to worry that their thinking might not be appreciated by others in the group, and that they do not need to worry as much about having to get the job done alone. Many times, gifted students will become bossy or isolated in a mixed group situation, especially if they think the others in the group do not appreciate their intellect. Gifted students usually do not make good tutors either. Their way of solving problems is intuitive to them, and they usually have a great deal of difficulty explaining this thought process to others, giving them a bad rap. According to A Nation Deceived, America's school system keeps bright students in line by forcing them to learn in a lockstep manner with their classmates. Teachers and principals disregard students' desires to learn more, much more than they are being taught. When they ask for challenge, they're held back. When they want to fly, they are told to stay in their seats. It is more important than ever that we provide appropriate differentiated instructional strategies for gifted students. We need our gifted students to soar.